product. Register. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to week 3 of Owlet season 2. I'm Corbec, joined here by massive. Thank you for joining us for tonight's match. It's going to be TBA versus Blazing Pegasus. Coming into this week, these two teams standing on relatively equal footing at the top of the table, at least for the minors division. Anything you can tell us about either of these organizations, Massive?
Yeah, so both of these teams we're looking at minors division here, and then with these teams, Blazing Pegasus and TBA, they're the top three teams right now. TBA is actually tied for third with Otter Oxide, or both with a +5 map differential. But both teams are right now 3-1, and the top 5 teams for minors in general are all 3 map wins and 1 map loss.
It's a very even race so far. It's good. That's the kind of thing we want. Good competition. A lot of equality always seems to bring out the best in people in terms of getting them to try and set themselves beyond the pack here. Looks like we're getting ready to get started on our first match with map, which will be Ilios. The map pool for tonight will actually be Ilios, Rialto, Anubis, Hollywood, and Lijiang. Starting off on a King of the Hill match, I've not really had a chance to see much of either of these teams playing. Massive, have you got any idea what we might expect to see them run here?
So I've actually had the chance to play against TBA, and TBA they really like their dive. They really like their goats. Simple, who often plays Reinhardt, is an amazing flex who can really get behind you on that Pharah and absolutely destroy with that character. So that's someone to be watching out for here.
Well, Pharah, of course, dangerous on Ilios. I personally feel like I always see her played on Ruins in competitive. Personally, I feel like Ruins is not that great of a map for Pharah, but for some reason, everybody likes walking her out there. But she comes into her own, I think, on some of the Ilios maps. So if they do have a good Pharah in the pocket, I'd be surprised if we didn't see it. Looks like we're just waiting for players here. And being the console scrub that I am, I'm actually going to have to get used to spectating with a mouse and keyboard. It's always a bit disconcerting at first.
Luckily, you're not our producer today.
No, that is true. Probably if I was producing, I would be using a controller because it would look terrible otherwise. I have no idea what's going on. So waiting here for them to assemble their heroes. This promises, like we said at the beginning, to be an interesting matchup. These two teams very equal in standings. And when it comes down to it, still a lot on the line to play for here.
Definitely. When you're looking at this kind of division, map differential is everything. And with Blazing Pegasus being +7 and TBA being +5, it's really going to be close between the two, and it's going to be a tough match to watch for sure.
So seeing these comps coming out the door now, we do look like we have a Anna Goats on one side. Meanwhile, on the other, we're looking at something a little bit more creative, a Torbjorn and Ash. That's an interesting choice. Oh no, it's a switch to a Pharah. There we go. You said we would see it, and we will indeed see it as we get started here.
Definitely. And when it comes to Pharah, she can easily clean up through Anna Goats, especially with that the help of that Ash dynamite. So that can really absolutely destroy these goats, meaning that Blazing Pegasus has to play this very carefully.
Monorail already touching the point here, an early dominance for the red team there. Jumping down now and trying to get into the fight. And Anti-Nate comes in, doesn't really find anyone. Surfy now pushing onto the point with the rest of the team. Mercy cut off in a lot of danger. Most of the members of the red team going down quite early here. Only Zarya left alive, and that's a quick early fight win there. Simple still in the air trying to cause some havoc. Will fall back.
Really smart play from Pups there, being able to get in there and boop off that Lucio. That gave Blazing Pegasus that fight. Without your Lucio, especially against the goats, you've got no chance of surviving. You just have to you can't even run away because you don't have the speed. You are gonna die, and that's gonna hurt.
Simple now moving in on the Pharah, getting some damage in on the front line. Red team still very much pushing forward here. Surfy trying to clear some space. A good anti cleared off almost immediately by the bubble there. And it's a quick pick on Pharaoh to start things off. Pharah still uncontested. Simple with a big barrage. Surfy picked up actually before that. Simple doesn't get any kills with it. Pups now falling back to the point. Lucio's still there trying to keep his diva up. Won't manage it. And despite a big anti coming in, Big Green 42 will jump off and they'll clean up the fight. So rapidly shifting control here, those 50% already on the point.
That was really well. That was a really well done fight, but that's not a complete win on the side of TBA. They are at a severe ult disadvantage here. We have 3 ults coming in for Blazing Pegasus, and only 1, maybe 2 ready for TBA.
Well, let's see if we can put some of those ults to good use here. Ash trying to get some dynamite out early. Surfy looking for a target. Simple, the first victim to fall. Yikes, looking for the res. Won't confront it. Sound barrier already thrown in. Surfy pushing forward on the point. Trying to use that extra protection to secure a kill. They can't quite find one yet. Pups, though, here with the rest of the team. A nano boost coming in as well. Surfy completely powered up, engaging Monorail on the target. There comes the beat, though. We'll keep the team up a little bit. Monorail goes charging off the point. They can't afford that loss. Bob now coming in, pumping damage in all directions. Can't really seem to get a pick with him. He's doing a good job of zoning out the point. Good grab coming in. Big Green and Surfy stuck right in front of an angry Bob. Bob actually gets some damage in there, allows for the pick. Pharaoh, though, still uncontested on the outside. It's absolute bloodbath. And now the kill's coming in the other way. A good boop there by X. He gets the point cleared off, and despite coming back 60%, it looks like they've turned this around massive.
I thought that was immediately going in TBA's favor. I did not expect Blazing Pegasus to be able to take that fight, especially with that aggressive Lucio ultimate. Using that to engage is just such a risk, because you need to be able to get the damage off that free damage. Because if you can't get that, you're absolutely useless. They're going to keep running this far into this Ashe, though.
Sharp Shot losing the early sniper duel there. That'll set TBA back just a little bit. The res coming in by Yikes, though. Sharp Shot immediately back in. Pharaoh on the high ground, largely uncontested. Simple going up, looking for a Pantsu now. Jumping into that Diva Bomb over the top into TBA's backline. It will get Petticoat. That's unfortunate. Surfy on fire, still alive, though, but unfortunately not able to keep his Ana in the fight. Surfy now pushing forward almost entirely on alone. A big barrage really only gets Surfy. No, Pups will follow up there. Pups, Baby Diva form, trying to delay, can't make it work, and they will flip the point once again. Massive back and forth here.
This is going to be anyone's match tonight. I won't be surprised if we go to a map 5 with how this is playing out already. This is just so even.
Of course, TBA need to be on perfect form here. They can't afford to lose a fight. Surfy going for a high fire strike, won't quite find Simple. You hear those Ash guns chattering back and forth, both of them looking for an early pick. Pantsu not able to find anything, really. Pantsu finally getting successful. Simple going down, but then Pharaoh follows it up. Bob coming in now. A big sound barrier there, too. Pups caught up in the front line by a hammer down, and now Monorail rotating back. This Bob uncontested, firing damage onto the point. Big Green down again. Another Bob on point, firing away. Surfy swinging the hammer, just trying to clear some space. Can't quite find a Monorail. Now with the sound barrier, pushes forward, takes down his opposite number. Kills going back and forth on the point. Dragons straight across the middle there. Diva Bomb thrown in, hammer down comes. That was a strange one. Exodus getting kills. Pharaoh cleaning up on the outside, though. Exy here with the rest of the team manages to hold it down, and they will pick up that first map win, but what a close match there.
This is only the first point of this first map. I don't know how you're gonna be able to do this, Corbec. Being able to go and play by play all of these if they're gonna be this close the entire time. I think that one really kind of came down to the Bob fight for me. Pantsu was able to get his Bob onto point. Like, getting that Bob onto the point itself is so much better than where Sharp Shot threw his.
Yeah, Sharpshot's Bob was kind of pinned in the corner. Exodus, actually, on the outside. I've been calling him Exy. It's just like the character in, what's that movie called? Kingsman, that's it. Kingsman. It reminds me of, yeah. But, you know, he was doing work on the outside, too, and Pharaoh just cleaning up when they absolutely need those clutch kills.
Very much. It's, I mean, seeing Jonak of Gold versus Exy. Or Ezzy. You got me saying it.
Yeah, my bad.
Exy does have this. Exodus does have that advantage on the Lucio fights versus Jonak for Gold.
Surfy pushing onto the point, really kind of alone here. The rest of the team finally moving in with him. The fight very spread out on both high ground and low ground. The early kills, though, in favor of TBA. Pups losing the mech. Big Green going down. Now Jonak and Gold continues to go on a little bit of a rampage there on the Lucio. Meanwhile, in the backline, Sharp Shot looking for an early pick. Won't quite find it. Firing those Widowmaker shots pretty much across the board. And Jonak and Gold, he's pushing forward. He wants another one.
You know what, Jonak and Gold? I'm sorry what I said. I'll take it back. Corbec, I was obviously wrong. You're doing really well. You're now beating Exodus here.
Simple up in the air, looking to just put in some damage before the fight gets started. Exodus now leading the rest of the team with that speed boost. They're going to drop onto point. It will be Reinhardt and D.Va contesting. A dive in the back line. Big Green forced down off the high ground already. That's not a place where Anna wants to be. Anna already taken out of the fight. Surfy, the only healing he's got is Exodus on the point. Where's the rest of the team? They're coming back now. Pharaoh right there, but he's taken down. Jonek and Gold again appearing in the kill feed. Widowmaker on the outside. Pantsu looking for a pick. Won't find one all alone. Pups, instead of disengaging, dives in on the health pack, tries to keep the fight going. Simple on the outside, finally brought down. That's 2 kills. They might actually be able to wrench this back from the edge of disaster. Here comes Exodus charging onto the point to bring him some healing. Pups detonates the bomb right in the middle of everything. That's halfway inside the Winston bubble. I don't know if Monorail noticed that. He will go down. Petticoat out of the mech, brought down almost immediately. Now he switched to Winston here. Surfy comes in. Wow.
That was a long fight. That was a very long fight there, and it really, I thought it was very much in the favor of TBA there. They were able to take out Big Green, and they just took out Big Green again immediately. Both supports down.
Oh, Sharpshot getting 2 big picks there. A barrage probably online here. 5, 6 ultimates there. It starts with the barrage. Now Monorail going into Angry Monkey form. Yikes has the Valkyrie up. That's a huge store in the bank for TBA. Dragon's right across the point, though. Won't find any joy at that. Yikes barely making it out of that alive. Angry Monkey ult will actually pick up a kill here. Soundberry coming in from Exodus will keep the team up, just propped up on the point, though. Still kills coming in. Sharpshot to own, not even looking flustered in the back there. Petticoat throws the bomb, doesn't get really anything with it. Exodus still alive here, fighting on the point. Surfy with him. Surfy going down, though. Pubs now with Exodus, the fight continuing. Pubs team mech. Exodus just trying to stall it out before losing control of the point.
Neither team here is really waiting for that full 6 to re-engage. They've just been going in, and that's what's been making it anyone's fight. Simple being able to pick off 2 there really help bring it back to there and be able to recap that. But 56, that's nothing to laugh at, considering that was 56 in a constant fight, constantly being contested.
Definitely, and now a lot of the pressure here going to be on Pantsu to get a pick, but he won't. Unfortunately, Sharpshot on that Widowmaker still proving very devastating. Surfy now hiding in the shadows here, waiting for a good opportunity to dive forward. It looks like we're taking that left route again. Wanting to drop in. They're still waiting for a good opportunity. Surfy now needs to initiate the dive. Can't quite find a target. Pharaoh already down. There goes Anna as well. Pups jumping in. Surfy activates the ultimate. He's just trying to zone out the point here, but at the same time, Pups is all alone. Pups demech. Pantsu jiving in on the Genji, trying to get some damage over the top. Another big barrage from Simple. Pups will be taken out by that. And Sharpshot to own. Never stress, never flummox this entire fight. Getting some damage in, and that allows Jonek and Gold to finish off a pick. And if nobody touches here to extend this, no, they will. Pharaoh just dashing in and out of the point on the Tracer. Classic maneuver. Tracer, no recall, though. Pharaoh can't quite get back to touch the point. That will leave an opening for Big Green to come in on the Moira, but he's immediately melted down. Sarah Barrier thrown in, and a D.Va bomb over the top will mean nothing ultimately massive.
Oh, looks like we'll be going to well here. Jonek of Gold really stepped it up, and so did Simple here. That Pharah is where we really saw much greater use out of that Pharah on this map. And that's gonna be huge for this. And Sharpshot doing really well on the Widowmaker, a lot better than he was doing on the Ashe, I would say. We're seeing a lot. It's a lot more. Can't think of the word right now. Correct. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you, Corbec.
No, Sharpshot's been hanging out there in the back line. Really was entirely uncontested there. Massive, I felt, for most of that match. Except for the occasional kill from Pharaoh, and was just more than happy to pump in damage, but switching back to the Ashe now.
Not to mention, Surfy looked like he really wasn't sure who he was focusing on at target. When you see him dive on point, you really want to see that Winston being able to take down 1% at a time. But he kind of just kept going after the D.Va, then maybe Jonek, then maybe going after Sharpshot a little bit, but never really stuck around to finish the kill.
Well, Pharaoh up in the skies now on the far, raining in some damage over the top. Pups going into the well, down the pit, but Pharaoh getting an early pick there. Sharpshot to own, back-footed. Pharaoh still hovering. He's looking for a pick on one of the Pharah or the Mercy. Can't quite find either. Now Petticoat up there putting a little bit of damage on him. Exodus around. Surfy doing their best to just hold down on the point here. Pantsu getting a good pick on Simple there as well. Now Exodus in the back line looking for a boop. Won't quite find it. Monorail not even flustered, still holding on a toe on this point. Pups now looking for a hook across the point, will throw it in, won't catch anyone with it. The fight continuing at pace here. Pharaoh coming up on the barrage of Valkyrie in the wings as well. Still, Pharaoh trying to set up. He's looking for an opportunity to fire that barrage off. Still hasn't engaged yet. Simple largely uncontested, but Sharp Shot coming back with style. We'll get a pick there.
Both Pharahs have barrage up, and both Mercies have up their ultimates. The Valkyrie. That could be a really interesting combo to see if they decide to pull out both. Simple looks like it may be going for a barrage here.
There it is. Simple over the top, gets big green. Monorail, meanwhile, pulls Pups into the well again. Pont finishes off Simple. It's really not enough, though. A solid point presence established by TBA and Gold Jonak. Jonak and Gold, I should say, once more in the kill feed there. Been popping up a lot, finishing off those kills as Lucio massive.
Oh, definitely. I don't think I normally see Lucio get this many kills, but I am absolutely fascinated by this. Who knows? We might actually have the real Jonak in here by this point if he starts off the Zen.
Ponsu looking to use the Bob as well. 4 ultimates on deck here for Blazing Pegasus. Pharaoh still hasn't found an opportunity. Like Pups gets a little bit of revenge there. It's Monorail down the pole. Sound barrier from both sides now. Kind of awkward usage of that. Pharaoh gets taken out on the outside. Petticoat still hunting for that. Finally finds it. Gold, Jonak and Gold looking for something. Pups now getting picks. Ponsu following it up as well. Jonak and Gold overextend there. Ponsu with 3. Why not make it 4? Sharp Shot taken down at the end as well, and that will flip the point in their favor.
Ponsu, how many kills did you just get? Not only with that dynamite that was perfectly placed to get just light all of them on fire, but just easily just cleaning up around with it. Not to mention Smurfy's ultimate there. That Orisa ultimate, you just cannot knock. It's often, like, I would say, one of the least appreciated ultimates, but that 30% damage increase can absolutely swing a fight.
Still holding on to that Bob. You see an attempt here, just maybe get some boops on the outside. Pups actually managing to pick up a kill with that before he goes down. Simple way up in the air, dropping damage on. Simple under a lot of pressure. There comes the Bob straight down the gut. Surfy under a lot of pressure, backing up now. Pharaoh on the outside edge, looking to get some storm arrows in, just trying to break the Orisa shield. Petticoat comes in for the dive. Petticoat all alone against Surfy and Pantsu. Big green there as well. Diva Bomb over the top. Finds no one. Bob gets booped into the well by Jonak and Gold. Jonak and Gold go ahead and finish off Pharaoh as well. Petticoat into the well, though. Pups doing a good job there. Pups now putting a little bit of fire on Simple over the top. Simple looking for a good opportunity to unleash a strike. Can't quite find it. Simple under a lot of pressure does manage to get out, but the fight continuing here still. Blazing Pegasus holding on with the points presence. Ponsu cut down, though, on the outside. Monorail now towing the line, 90%. Ticking onto the clock. Pharaoh firing arrows from the outside. Can't quite find anything. Exodus here on the outside as well, looking for an opportunistic environmental kill. 98%, 99%. Beatdown Bongos comes out. Surfy powering up the team. Dragons across the top. Simple in the back line, though. He gets 2. It's Big Green and Surfy both down, and the Bongos will go with them. Pup into the well. Oh, no. Pups once again pitched into the drink there, and I think that might end this defense, Massive.
That was an incredible hold for as long as they were able to hold it, though. I have to really tip my hat to Blazing Pegasus there. This is going to be anyone's battle. We're going to probably see it go to 99-99. Pharaoh swapping over to the Pharah, try to give Simple a little bit more fight in the sky, because Simple, even when he does get contested, I don't think he's really died much. He's able to get out every fight, and mostly due to Yikes on that Mercy.
Surfy looking for a good place to establish here. Can't quite find it. Sound barrier coming down again. Surfy pushing forward. Now going to use that. Pups into the well one more time. Why not? Petticoat knocks him in that time. No mercy to be had there. Pups getting intimately equated with whatever at the bottom is at the bottom of that. Exodus on the outside now looking for a boop. Won't quite find it. Does a good job of displacing Monorail. Sharp Shot taking down Ponsu on the outside. Pharaoh gets the res to come back into it. It's another Bob straight into the face of Orisa. Smurfy under a lot of pressure. Won't make it out. The other Orisa claiming the kill. Big Green going down as well. Monorail into the pit, but it's too little too late. Pups is back on the point of barrage coming out from Simple. Won't really find anything. I think he was trying to zone things out there. Doesn't really work. Pups still alive. He's still getting, they're trying to put him back into the well. He goes back into the well. Petticoat flies back out. Exit is taken down now. Diva Bomb just dropped to zone things out, but Surfy will be back on. Simple, though, nearly knocks Surfy into the well. Mercy coming back in to heal. The Reinhardt won't quite manage to get there. Surfy down. Now Pups again, he's back on point. My God, he's been there a lot. Pups goes down, and that will signal the end. And TBA looks like we'll be walking away with a win here, Massive.
I wish I had a counter and was paying more attention to how many times Pups was sent down that well. I saw him falling down there just repeatedly.
I don't know what's down at the bottom of there, but man, he knows it well. They know it well, I should say, at this point in time. Good Lord.
I can only imagine. It fills my nightmares every night. What isn't that well? Beautiful play here from Pups, though.
Probably bronze.
Probably bronze.
Just keep going until you hit about 900 SR. And then it just stops and you're just stuck there forever.
just locks you in bronze. Never leave. I've been there. All right, so our next topic, we'll be moving on to the escort map tonight. And when we're looking at these kind of teams, we've been seeing kind of like a lot of kind of like a little bit of ghostiness, but we've been seeing that they do have the ability to dive. And on escort, dive is so strong. Like, what are you expecting to see here, Corbec?
I mean, on Rialto, perhaps the dive can be valuable. Do you think of those really tight corridors coming out there on the initial attack? And it's usually not a map, I would say, where we see a lot of dive trotted out, right? The idea being that it's a little bit perhaps constrictive, right? A dive relies a lot on its mobility, its ability to get into the back line easily, and the opening point of Rialto doesn't offer that. I wouldn't be surprised if one of these teams fell for the temptation of using the sort of protect the president strategy, getting a bastion on the payload and just rolling it around. And as ever, anything that really I think will allow the attackers to bully their way through that first chokehold, the corner of death, as I like to call it sometimes, it is really I think where the temptation, it will be what is most tempting to run, I should say.
I think that's a very fair assessment, and I think we'll also end up seeing a lot more of the Orisa again. Orisa is I think this is her most common escort map I see her on nowadays, and she is I think one of the most undervalued main tanks. As we saw on this last point, Orisa can really just completely change a fight just with that ultimate. That extra damage boost is so huge coming in.
I think perhaps at these lower ELOs that Orisa does actually bring a lot of value to the team. I think part of the reason she sees so little play is because we so rarely see her, I should say, played at the top tier of Overwatch, when coordination and strategy are usually kind of on a different level. But down in this level, I think that I agree. Orisa can be a real game changer. The beatdown bongos are a huge ultimate, very valuable to the team. And on Rialto too, there's that enjoyment of getting a good grab and just pulling them right off the side of the first bridge, right?
I'm hoping we're seeing a lot of pulls off this first bridge today. Like I want to see some Agility's World Cup here, where he goes around and boops 4 on Lucio. Like because we've both these Lucios so far, both Gold Jonak and Exodus have both been doing absolutely wonderful on their respective roles.
Yeah, Gold Jonak, of course, we were saying, has been appearing in the kill feed so much, but Exodus as well has been really present for his team, kind of getting some critical environmental kills on that last map, really making the Lucio count. That's exactly what you want to see now that he's come back sort of into the meta, or has been back in the meta for a while, I guess, is to see really productive Lucio play is always enjoyable.
That's very true. And I also want to give when you're looking at main supports for these kind of teams, I think for me, when you know your main support's doing a good job is when you don't know they're there. And I never really noticed Yikes in the kill feed. I never really saw her dying a whole lot.
Yeah, that is very fair. I mean, the idea being right, if your main healer is dying a lot, that's obviously a significant problem. You're right. Sometimes better not seen and not heard may actually be the case. And looking at these two team compositions, so on the defense side, the temptation to run Bastion a little too strong here. Everybody's favorite or least favorite robot, I guess, depending on where you stand, will be coming out. That'll be Pharaoh on that. Meanwhile, on the other side, Simple picking up the Bastion here, and I do wonder if we will be seeing a protect the president strategy. No, Simple's actually going to switch over to the Pharah. Debated me again.
I wish we saw that, but this Bastion might be good against Simple on this Pharah. I might be able to help take out this guy, and immediately it happens, just like I guessed.
Oh, the machine gun is merciless. Simple coming out the door immediately. Murked here. Petticoat, though, a lot of room to operate with. Will happily push this cart forward. Zarya kind of hunkering behind there. A bubble thrown out there on Monorail, perhaps a little bit unnecessary. That's okay. Monorail pushing forward. They've already hit the bend, rotating immediately. Dropping down here. Pharaoh will need to get set up again. Pharaoh does. He's chunking in damage over the point. And they're playing this very cautiously. Neither side seems really rushing to engage. They're giving him a lot of space, Massive.
They really are. They just keep wanting to back it up, and that might be the safest thing to do here for this Bastion. When you give up that high ground, you have so many more flank opportunities opened. And you just really want to make sure you're in a spot where, okay, I'm going to be safe for now.
Yeah, Sharpshot and Pharaoh, Sharpshot and Simple both going down there at the very beginning, and Simple actually making the switch off the far. Exodus pushed way up, though, is trying to fall back here. Little bit dangerous. You see now the Simple on the Somber. Simple looking for a good opportunity to hack the Bastion. They've sussed it out, though. Goes in for the hack, and it's almost immediately burned down. Simple will have to translocate out, and here comes the rush. Monorail leading the Zarya up front. Petticoat looking like they bathe in nuclear waste at this point in time. And the point just continuing to push forward. Jonek and Gold way in the back line trying to harass Pharaoh of all people. And Jonek and Gold will run away. Sharpshot to own. Meanwhile, on the outside gets 2 picks. They will res Ponsu back into this, not Pharaoh on the Bastion. But it looks like the attackers will have to call this off yet again.
You really gotta play super aggressive against this Bastion here. If you cannot get in his face and shut him down, especially with your main tank, he's just gonna get melted down immediately. You need your Lucio on that speed, getting you in there.
Some serious spy checking going on here in the back line. Simple maybe being just a little bit too loud. It was Pansu who went up that time and tried to suss him out. Now Simple in a lot of danger on the outside, forced to run away and translocate again, causing absolute havoc there. Monorail coming in, but Bob right into the middle of it. What an excellent Bob. It'll take down Monorail almost immediately with no shield. Bob will just continue chucking damage. He'll get burned down quite quickly. Sharpshot finishing off the big lovable robot, but not before they already stuffed this attack dead, Massive.
That was a beautiful sleep from Yikes to get to take out that Bob. That really helped actually just keep him away from destroying his team, especially without that main tank shield anymore.
Simple still having a heck of a time on the outside. Sharpshot now sitting on the Dragons, will use it, firing it straight across where he last thought the Bastion was. Now Pharaoh's split off, and they're going to use this as an opportunity to push into him. They want that Bastion kill, but an excellent rotate around by Pharaoh. Here comes the sound barrier. Pharaoh's still up through all of it. He'll finally go down. Exodus coming out with the Transcendence. Is a second too late. Diva Bomb over the top, looking for a kill. Won't find anything. Surfy's beatdown bongos destroyed as well. Pharaoh now in tank mode, looking to clean up this fight. Jonek and Gold will go down. It's Simple who follows him to the grave. Petticoat's still there, still trying to stay alive, but it's just going to be a brutal stagger, Massive.
That was rough to watch. Pharaoh just easily cleaning up with that tank mode. That was a really, really good play of him to just run away. Sometimes that's all you gotta do is just retreat. And the fact that TBA never touched the point has fallen all the way back to that first corner.
Well, despite giving up a lot of space at the beginning, a bend but not break defense coming out. Exodus, an early pick. There's a big EMP over the top. Monorail doesn't use the shatter here. Pharaoh will go down, not before taking Simple out of the fight. They're pushed up all the way here, though. Surfy may be the target for their attack. Pups now falling back a little bit. Ponsu up on the high ground, just chunking in damage, but here they come forward again. Pansu dropping down onto the point. Hammer down coming in. I don't think he quite found anything. No, he's got Pharaoh and he's got Exodus back here. Exodus chunking damage over the front now as well, but Surfy going down. Pansu caught up in that as well. Bob coming out in the back line, causing a lot of havoc with a big res on Surfy, so they can continue contesting this. Big Green dancing around here, trying to keep his team up. Exodus comes out with a charge shot, finds no one. Dragons now chucked in, I think maybe possibly from spawn. I'm not quite sure where they went though. No, here they come.
They are.
Here are the Danger Noodles. Took them a while to get there. Surfy's forced off the point. Will they be able to touch? No, Surfy doing a masterful job of just keeping this contest alive. Jonek and Gold trying to push Surfy out of the way. Here comes the rest of the team. Yikes is with them. A big dynamite in. Sound barrier comes down now. Pups under a lot of pressure. Monorail swinging away with the hammer. You see Pansu on top again. Here comes the bomb. Gets no one, but Exodus on the Hammond just rolling around. My God, they don't want to give this up. They're fighting it out to the bitter end. It's do or die here on the point. Monorail will go down. Petticoat still alive. Petticoat getting Exodus out of the fight. Continuing away, a big anti coming in. Pup's in a lot of trouble. Will get D-Max simple with a big pulse. Pharaoh tries to answer back, but it's not quite big enough. No, he'll get Yikes out again. Petticoat here. Healing still in the form of Jonak and Gold. The only one still alive is Pharaoh trying to contest this. Panzer now dropping back in 1.84 meters to go. Make it 1.73. Exodus coming in over the top, knocks them back. They're still going. Petticoat still fighting this out. Simple as well, still here. Monorail coming in now, swinging away with the Reinhardt hammer. A big shatter. Will it be enough to clear it out? Big Green in a lot of danger, and they're still going. Exodus still alive. He gets the mines out. Dragons point blank across the point. Monorail still trying to push this forward. Big Green here with the heals, though, keeping the team up. But here comes the rest of TBA all over this right now. Surfy getting taken out. Pups diving in. Big Green reses Surfy back into it, but Big Green's down almost immediately. A really well-placed anti-nade. Surfy still fighting it out, still going. Dynamite in. Monorail under a lot of pressure. Sound barrier over the top. That'll help him survive the pulse. Monorail looking to pick up a kill. He's got the nano boost on him now. They're still going. Rolling around again is Exodus, but Exodus is finally brought down, and they will finally push it through. Good God Almighty, what a fight!
I think you've earned a moment to breathe there, Corbec. Wow, was that a fight? Just so back and forth. I am shocked that the fact that Blazing Pegasus was able to come back and hold that for as long as they did. I think at that point they just deserved to keep that point. For me,
I mean, it was a massive defense. They were really trying their absolute best. Massive, no pun intended, actually, a massive defense. But boy, they did not want to give that up. And here they are re-engaging again. They're wasting no time in getting back into it. Surfy playing this very cautiously, though. Oh, Surfy trying to get a hammer down in the backline. Doesn't quite get it. He comes back around. Monorail's out. Both Reinhardt's down, but a big res coming in. Surfy's back up again. Big Green has not stopped bringing the most critical people back to life. And the fight will be over, even though Big Green goes down at the end. Exodus getting farmed there as well.
Big Green has sacrificed himself, I think, on almost every one of his resurrects this time, up to this point. Which, while that does have great utility, that might be less utility than keeping yourself alive.
There comes the dragon. Surfy, no hope, was antied in. Well, Pups getting taken down. It's solid red in the kill feed. They're just cleaning it up there.
As he just trying to do what he can from a distance, just trying to get as much ult charge as he can. Just like, hey, just let me a little hit on you. Simple, trying to get in the back though.
Indeed, Bob will initiate here. Stopped a bit short, perhaps, of where they wanted. Bob slept, though. Not able to do anything. Exodus, though, getting a pick on Jonak. And good way for them to get started here. Simple in the back line with two, though. It's a huge pulse bomb. Petticoat now pushing forward. Monorail has the nano boost, and here comes Monorail. Pups falling back. Surfy was burned down, and actually not a lot of value out of that monorail, or that nano massive.
Not really. That can really be something they're gonna be hoping. At least for this last push is the hardest push of this map. That's why this map is known as the hardest map to actually complete. It's trying to take it.
Dragons. Pharaoh got that off of 2 kills. Decided why not? I've already got 2. Let's see if the Danger Noodles can pick up a third there. Fires it across. Doesn't get anything though massive. And you're right. This is a hard push through, isn't it?
It is. I would say it's the hardest push in the end of all the maps in Overwatch. Taking third point, just trying to get it through this building. You need to have perfect coordination on your attacking team. Though losing your Hanzo right away on the defense, that's gonna hurt.
Oh no, that's a bad place to start, and here they come forward again. Reinhardt all over the place, though. Surfy kind of looking to put some pressure on the Hanzo. Won't quite find it. Surfy down. Exodus still up. Big hammer down with the bomb over the top. There's... They'll get 4 with it. Good Lord.
Surfy!
Oh, what a big combo right there. Jeff Kaplan has mercy because, boy, the folks from Blazing Pegasus have none.
That was an amazing bomb from Pups. I had mixed up for a second, but it looked like Monorail might have charged there, leaving him with no shield and his team with no shield for that bomb. And with that beautiful placement, that absolutely destroys it. But the entirety of TBA is seen with that Sonic Arrow.
Indeed, and here they come charging in. It's do or die. Big grab over the point. Dragons following it up. Surfy right in the middle of that. Will not get out. Big green caught in it as well. A big eat on the grab there, though. That's great. Pups frozen for a second on the point. Pups still up, still trying to fight. There's no well for him to go down here, and he's trying to make his presence known, but unfortunately he's DMAC to the back. Sharp shot to Own. Says, don't worry, guys. I'll hold the front line. Manages to get 2. Monorail tries to just zone it out, and they will push through. A well-placed Maywall at the end there actually stopped Surfy from recontesting.
Beautiful initiation there from Sharp Shot, being able to get in there and start it off with those dragons. That easily does that absolutely destroyed Surfy and Big Green. Though really, Big Green shouldn't have been anywhere where he was able to get killed by the dragons if he was playing in Ana. Like he shouldn't be right behind his main tank like that.
Well, I think sometimes when you're playing Ana, and I mean, I come at this with a console perspective where we don't get a lot of Ana play, is sometimes you do feel the need to be right back up in behind your main tank, just pumping heal dart after heal dart into them. And unfortunately, when ultimates come out like that, right, Massive, there's just not a lot you can do. You have no escape ability, and you just go down. But the respawn advantage never really worked in their favor there, did it?
It never really did. And not to mention, with that Mei, being able to wall off Surfy like that. It's just like, hey, I'm gonna keep you out of the fight, and that completely makes it so much easier to roll through. Mei is such a useful hero, and has just so much utility.
Yeah, I feel like Mei has really come storming back into things, if we're honest. I mean, I remember a point in time, maybe a couple of months ago, where Mei was basically never saw play. Outside of a few quote unquote specialist players or whatever, there was never really any Mei. And now we see her walked out, in the quote unquote snoats. We see her trotted out in these kind of compositions. Her role as a stall hero has kind of gone and grown into a utility hero.
Very true, and we're seeing kind of an Ana goes, but with but instead of a triple tank, we're seeing a Hanzo come in on the side of TBA. Yeah. So that should be interesting to watch.
I call it Aotes for arrow goats, but I think that could use some reworking.
That does not at all sound absolutely like one of the my least favorite words I've ever heard at this point. I'd never want to hear that again.
I don't know. I don't like it. Panther getting an early pick. Surfy decides he's going to follow it up. Surfy coming in, swinging on the Reinhardt Exodus there, boosting him forward on the Lucio. A good, comfortable pick for him. Surfy now pushing up, and they're doing a great job. Surfy just clearing tons of space, and that cart's continuing to roll. 3 minutes on the clock, and they've nearly touched through. Now they're going to try and contest there. Sharp Shot decides that he's going to try and stop it all by himself. Gets 2 picks in the back line, and here comes the rush. Petticoat leading the charge. Sharp Shot again in the kill feed. It's Big Green this time. Petticoat finishes off Surfy. Pup's the only one left alive, running back and almost petulantly. Pantsu will swap Sharp Shot to Own down.
We do have the Lucio v Widow fight now going right now between Goljo and Ekon, and it does go to the goes to the Lucio. That is always just, I think the most terrifying thing as a Widowmaker is seeing that Lucio come sprinting at you with a speed boost, just going in and just you're like, I can't hit that. That's too fast. That's too hoppity. I can't do anything against that.
Hippity hoppity, get off my property. Or in this case, the high ground. Surfy coming forward on the charge. Big anti. He's in as well. Monorail comes charging forward, says yes, gets that kill easy with a little bit of help from Simple there. Pup's in a lot of danger, falling back out now. Big Green was just stuck there, couldn't get anything done. So once more, the defense really stuffing them here.
Poor Big Green just had to sit there and accept his death, just to be like, hey, I know I'm not going to be able to get there. Just make it quick. Make it painless.
We can only hope that it was. You sitting here, do you think there's any swaps they to make at this point in time, Massive, to change the way this is going for them?
Honestly, I would recommend that Big Green uses that nano and swaps off of Ana. For me right now, where he's placing himself, it is a huge amount of pain. He's constantly playing right behind the
grab dragons coming out across the point. They'll see if they can get something out of that. They nearly get Monorail finished off on the shatter. He's the only victim, but they're okay with that. Pounce on the outside managed to get a pick. Sound barrier coming in, maybe to help deal with the tire. It won't make a difference. Exit is blown away, and there's no one on the cart touching it, using this opportunity to push it forward just a little bit. Jonak and Gold comes dashing across. A brief momentary delay. You just saw Lucio flying across the front of the payload there. And now they're going to push right up and just take this point. So no swaps, I guess. They were happy with the combo and they used it.
Fair enough. I mean, hey, Grab Dragons is one of the strongest and like always one of the best ultimate combos in the game. There's rarely a time where it's a bad idea unless you're running against a Zenyatta while he still has trans.
Big Green still on this Ana, riding the payload here in the back line, chugging a little bit of healing. Surfy all alone up at the front. Pups, though, now with him. Exit coming out of the side room there. Pharaoh with him as well now, too. So 4 members of the team there at the front. Blazing Pegasus trying to push forward. Oh, it's a big grab. No, I see Surfy and Pups caught in that. Surfy charged out of it, actually. Nano Boost delivered as well, so that'll help them take out the Reinhardt there. And it'll be full retreat here for Blazing Pegasus. They're just trying to get back. Monorail, a little bit hungry, comes charging out there, but no, won't resist the temptation and falls back.
He realized what he was doing. He was like, okay, I'm getting a little too cocky here. Let's back it up. Let's take it easy. We both Widows right now. Both have sights up, so they have to be really careful with where they're peeking at this point.
Everybody knows everything at the moment. Surfy now coming around the corner, met by a fire strike, perhaps not surprising there. Pups didn't get the bubble on him, did use a personal bubble to try and push this forward. You see Exodus hiding in the corner here. I don't know what he's exactly gonna find it. Pantsu engaged in a Widowmaker duel with Sharp Shot to open it. Just Cold Jonak from the top rope just takes him out. Big grab Dragons, though. It'll get 2, make it 3. Why not? And they'll add Petticoat to the list of victims as well. Sharp Shot to own all alone back there. Widow desperately falling back. Pups and Sharp Shot running side by side there for a second. Perhaps not even realizing they were next to each other. They're massive.
I don't think Pups knew, but that was a huge push. They just gotta make sure they keep pushing that cart. But they do have that on the cart, and that's where I want Big Green to stay. Stay behind, stay in the back. If you can't see them, that's okay. You gotta lose you to help with that. But if you get somewhere where they can see you, you're gonna lose.
There comes the Dragons, fired straight down the choke. Kind of speculative. I'm not exactly sure what the plan there was. I think they were just trying to clean out the spawn room, give him an opportunity to get out. Exodus up here with Surfy. Surfy's pushed way forward. Pups is more than happy to play up at this distance as well. And here comes the cart. 2 minutes and 34 seconds on the clock, and they're just continuing to roll forward here. Though they are coming forward towards the big, angry double doors. Massive.
Look at TBA's positioning here. They are starting to split up. Nope, they're finally starting to get back together now. Good, because when they split up like that, huge shatter coming in though.
Will they be able to follow it up though? They managed to get a kill on Surfy. Big Green will go down as well. Pups takes down Simple in backline. Simple's still here though. Pups in danger of being staggered. Pantsu dancing around here, doesn't quite seem to know what they're doing. They're still going to continue this fight. Exodus jumping in the backlines. Yikes in his sights now. Yikes though. Manages to stay up there. Will continue to fire healing in, and it's a disengage for them. Massive.
We are now at that third and final push. That last place to take with 1:50 remaining. They do have a chance to take this, and if they do take that, that'll be overtime, and they want to have as much time extra as possible here.
Big grab, gets 3. They'll get 1 pick out of it. Exodus, though, returning the favor, gets a little bit of a sound barrier up. There's a nano boost coming in as well. I think, though, maybe I was just mistaken there. Bob will go to sleep on the point. Tire coming in. It could be big. It will be big. Make it 3. Clears the card. Pups, the only one left alive again, a position they're getting all too familiar with. And there goes Pups. And 1 minute and 13 seconds left on the clock, so that music may be a little bit deceptive, Massive.
It just because we're getting close to that final push. Huge tire from Simple. They still have the other DPS ultimate available. They have the Dragon Blade and the Nano, so we'll likely see a Nano Blade this fight, and I'm excited for it.
Well, let's see if they can execute the infamous Nano Blade. Surfy pushing forward here. No real pressure from either side. Simple will go down early. There's the Blade and the Nano.
Huge purple instantly onto the Genji. That's what you want to see, but that doesn't matter.
No, not at all. Sharp Shot just all over the place back there. Absolutely oppressive. Gets 3. Pantsu the only one left alive, and they're going for a huge stagger.
They're gonna go for the meme stagger. Just hey, we're all gonna just stare at you for a second. But for the downside for TBA, they just have Shatter for this next fight, coming up against Grab Dragons. That Dragon Ball can easily wipe them all out, especially if they're all going to be playing on the cart like this. They have to be
There it is,
careful.
Pups with the grab. That's 4 or 5 in there. There comes the Dragons and anti. Wow, Pharaoh clears it. Surfy there as well. Yikes, now desperate, has no answers, falling back. Will get brought down somewhere. Lucio is hiding, though. He's stalling on the back of the point. He's still
being so sneaky.
Jonak and Gold, though, will get brought down, and here they come. An opportunity perhaps to contest this. Sharp shot drops on as the Genji. Hammer comes down. Monorail was caught in that. He'll get brought down. Petticoat here. No, Petticoat's down. Kills himself. Sharp shot, though, gets a little bit of revenge on his brother. A tire, another big tire. Oh, no, it's brought down. Exodus finds it. Yikes, out. Jonak and Gold drops on Antide, swinging away, and they'll make it. Oh, tied.
That grab Dragons was absolutely beautiful. This is going to push us to overtime, and again, this match has just been so close every time. Like, these fights go on forever.
They really do. Neither of these teams showing a great propensity for disengaging. Good play out of their healers for keeping them up. And really, they're just keeping things going.
Definitely, for sure. And I think we're gonna see kind of the same thing running back. More of that Ana goats, maybe with some maybe swapping a tank for DPS. And that just tends to do really well. Ana right now, so in the meta. I couldn't be happier for her. I remember the days when you pick Ana as a support and everyone asks you, what are you doing?
No, it's true. And I mean, she has really found value and a niche. Those minor tweaks they made to her, actually, I would say, Massive, really made a huge difference just in her sort of applicability and usefulness. That being said, though,
do you see what I'm seeing right now? Sorry.
Oh, no. Oh boy.
The crouch walk to spawn, going for that sneaky push, trying to take them immediately off. That's, you gotta love it. The classic Ana goats.
High risk, high reward, though, and they're waiting for it. Don't seem to have any idea on the point. Oh no! Oh no! Jonak and Gold sussed it out immediately. Down, but Simple gets revenge, striking back. Monorail pushes right back out in the fight, not going their way. Blazing Pegasus in a lot of trouble here. Pantsu will get a pick, but it matters very little. Sharp shot to own, clearing it off, and that ambush turned out to be not quite, I think, what they wanted there.
Goldjonak might have gotten a little bit bullied there, but it's okay because his team was there to come back and help him out. Petticoat fell off the map though. All right. Diva falls off the map to try to maybe just try to get back in the.
I think just probably remecking, if I had to guess there, considering the time limit that we're at here. Surfy holding up the shield though, doing a good job of keeping his team together. Dragons will be unleashed. That's done a good job of clearing the way for the car, but it hasn't got any members of the enemy team. Tire now will be unleashed. Simple looking for a victim. Oh, it's destroyed again. He rolls it right into him. There's no hope for that. Surfy pushing forward, hasn't quite yet engaged. Here comes Surfy, big hammer down, gets Yikes. Yikes needs to be taken out. He will, but at what cost? Pharaoh down, Exodus is down as well. Simple now diving onto the point, firing away with the grenades. Surfy still alive, still fighting it out, though. They're not quite ready to give this up. A grab comes in. Surfy more than happy to swing away from the fences in that. Jonak and Gold trying to hold on. Petticoat reaches the bomb. No luck there. Petticoat destroyed before they can get remeched, and that will signal an end.
But besides the cheese, overall a pretty good hold from Blazing Pegasus. I bet if they hadn't gone for that little cheese at the beginning, they could have held it even further back, maybe even at first corner.
Indeed, it was a good hold. They didn't let them get that first tick, Massive, and that can be very important here. Staring down the barrel of the gun with the 1 minute right on the attacks. Let's see what they have in the bank for us.
Definitely. Goats? I'm guessing a goats.
Goats.
It's probably gonna be goats. like honestly at this point, but we might be unless Sharpshot does bring back that. Except he hasn't played the Junkrat yet. We're having him on Junkrat and Simple on May. The May going for that full stall Junkrat May. That is a scary combo. The two most evil characters in this game easily.
It's true. They are quite evil. We'll see how that works on the defense. Probably it seems effective to me, at least in theory. Execution, though, so often difference from theory. Pantsu picking up the Ash, and Pharaoh will be on the Hanzo, so roles they're all pretty familiar with a standard 2-2 comp on their side. Or 2-2-2 comp, I should say.
I prefer the 2-2 comp.
2-2 comp, yeah.
They're all really nice ballerinas here.
Indeed. Pantsu drops down early onto the point, sort of a scouting mission. No, here comes the rest of the team with him. Petticoat was baited in and absolutely destroyed, but a big anti on the other side allows them to take Exodus out of the fight. Surfy coming forward now. Simple back with the cart. Monorail. Simple gets a wall in. Surfy in danger. Oh no, Monorail's in the drink. Somehow Surfy knocked him in. I'm not sure exactly how that happened, but we'll take it. Pantsu getting finished off by Gold Jonak. Gold Jonak in typical stall position there on the back of the two Lucios, duking it out here on the payload. Here comes Pharaoh, though. Most of the team for Blazing Pegasus present and accounted for on the point. Surfy pushing forward. Simple going to look for a big wall here, I think. Maybe try and wall Surfy off. No, they can't quite find it. Simple on the outside, looking for the opportunity. Hasn't found it yet. Pups pressing forward now. Still no wall up. Simple coming forward. Boop back. There's the wall. Surfy stuck on the other side of it. They will rotate around. It's a big freeze, though. Drop directly on the cart, and if nobody can touch it, Pups will jump on. Exodus coming back in. It's big. All sorts of kills, though, and that yellow square's looking awfully close. Big anti, though, on the cart. Doesn't really matter. Jonak and Gold brought down. Now it's Sharpshot trying to go. Oh, he won't even get anywhere close. And they will take this one away.
That was scary at first. When they were at bridge, they started having their members drop. But then Surfy being able to push off Monorail. I'm pretty sure it was just with the hammer, because the hammer does do the slightest bit of knockback. So I assume the hammer's what pushed Monorail into the drink there. And that just spelled the end of it.
Okay, well, that's fair. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here you go. A thrilling matchup between these two teams here for your Saturday night. You are watching Owlet Week 3 of Season 2. Corbec and massive disappointment. We'll be right back with this match between Blazing Pegasus and TBA after this brief break. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back here to the Saturday night matchup. Owlet, week 3. It's TBA versus Blazing Pegasus, currently tied at 1v1. As we go into our next map, Temple of Anubis, the infamous 2CP. I'm Corbec, joined by Massive. Massive, what did you make of that last map?
That was intense, to say the least. This whole match in general has just been so back and forth. It's been just so back and forth, and it's hard to tell who's gonna win these maps when it happens. It's really hard to tell already.
Yes, it's been very evenly matched, to be honest. We've seen some fights that have gone on for absolute scads of time. I mean, really battle all up and down Rialto, and no real sign of, I would say, that stopping as we come in here to Temple of Anubis. 2CP, of course, infamous for its really long fights, for lack of a better word.
Definitely, that's just part of the love, part of the game for 2CP. And Anubis especially, this one you don't get, I would say, for a lot of comparatively to a lot of other 2CP maps, you don't get a whole lot of options for what it can run. It's really much either a junk Widow map or a Goats map to me.
That's true. I mean, especially given the rise of goats right into the pantheon of the meta, I do think it's becoming a dominant strategy on a lot of 2CP maps, and it's easy to understand why that snowball is so quickly happens on that first point. Something interesting, though, I have seen run here in scrims massive, and occasionally on the ladder every once in a while, if a team is prepared enough, is the teleporting sort of Symmetra Bastion strat on point number 1, where you just kind of continue to move the Bastion around the various high ground positions. You never can quite get a good beat on where he is. It can be quite effective.
I wouldn't be too surprised if we see that, especially from Blazing Pegasus. We've seen that Pharaoh does play the Bastion and plays it fairly well. So if they do choose to do that, I wouldn't be overall all too surprised. I think they have every opportunity to here.
Again, for what it's worth, as I understand it, TBA now playing in the blue, and Blazing Pegasus will be playing in the red, correct?
Correct, yes. When it comes to these kind of maps, so Escort, 2CP, and Hybrid, they swap attack defense every time.
Indeed. Let's see what these two teams have for us here on 2CP. Infamous game mode. I think I said that when I was introing it, but I feel like a lot of people don't like 2CP, but not Temple of Anubis. It's usually Volskaya that seems to draw the most sort of collective unhappiness, if I had to say.
Luckily, Volskaya was last week's 2CP match.
Oh, I remember. I haven't forgotten, indeed. Temple of Anubis. Interesting fact, Massive. Temple of Anubis was actually the first map that was designed for Overwatch, funny enough.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was the first map they ever designed. It looked a lot different than it does now, but this is the final form, and this was actually when they were in the original development of the game, and the only two characters were Tracer and Widowmaker, and originally just Tracer. This was the map that they did a lot of their like engine testing on, so it was just a bunch of like half-formed Tracer models running around shooting at each other on Temple of Anubis for an eternity.
You know what? I think for the 3rd year anniversary of Overwatch, they should bring that back. Have that be a game mode. Just everyone go Tracer, Temple of Anubis.
You should see the original model of Hanzo's dragons, because they're hideous. They're like giant, pale, gray caterpillars, sort of, that just ride across the map. Here they come into the choke almost immediately. Pharaoh back on that Hanzo he likes so well. A good speed boost will lead them around the outside here. Surfy going up to the high ground. Surfy split off from the rest of his team. That's not something you want to say. Ponsu winning the sniper duel on the outside. That's a huge advantage to initiate this fight. Monorail now rotating with the rest of the team. They're trying to get a good positioning on the point. They've got a shield up where they can tow it, but Simple goes down. It's Pups getting the kill that time, and here they come, dragging down right into the face of the Orisa. Monorail will fortify. Well, that's going to take a lot of healing to get Monorail through it. Monorail will get the healing they need, though. They'll continue to fight. A good charge in, though. Zones out a ton of space. It doesn't look like there's going to be anyone who can actually touch this back. Sharpshot, though, tries to stop it all by himself. Gets 2, but it's not enough. And Jonak and Gold getting picked off on the outside there to mark the end of all that.
That was a really smart push around. When they saw that there was a Widow, just immediately go to that high ground and push him off that high ground.
looks like
it looks like we had to leave, so we might be seeing a pause here.
A brief pause will come in. Both teams backing off in a very sportsmanlike manner. The Exodus coming in, but yeah, looking back at that attack, Massive, really quite well orchestrated. What do you think was the key factor there?
Being able to take out that Widow first, and then take out that Junkrat next. Taking out both those DPS on first point of Anubis is always what you want to be doing on this kind of map. And like some people will say, kill the DPS or kill the tanks or kill the healers first. Here you gotta take out those guys, or else you're just gonna get rolled right through. Especially with Simple on that rat.
Right, Simple and Sharpshot, I think, demonstrating themselves to be very deadly. And it does look like, is it a substitution coming in, or are we still at 6? I'm not entirely sure. Exodus will be rejoining. There we go. So that's all good. So 6 minutes 30 seconds on the clock, Massive, and that's a lot of time in the tank as they wait for Exodus to come back to them.
That is a huge time bank. That is awesome to push in. But again, it's 2 CP, so we might see them hold for this entire 6.5 minutes. And it wouldn't be the first time I've seen a hold, and even held for longer.
And they'll speed right onto the point. An interesting tank angle. Good wall in, though, kind of divides them up. But that doesn't matter. Fair 3 with the Dragons. That's a huge Dragons to initiate this fight. Monorail, though, getting right back in the action. Will get nanoed. Goes on an absolute rampage with the Tesla cannon. Pantsu cut off, trying to escape. Diva all over him. Genji's jumping in there as well. You see the Ninja Stars flying away from Sharpshot. Not quite able to find their target. Pantsu manages to find his way back to his team, but wow. Great Dragons, and immediately turned on its head by an excellent Nano Winston.
Where did that fight go wrong? They should have easily won that, but it looked like immediately just having the May and the Winston together, that's all those two together on play, that's all you needed. And then being able to get that Nano on. Nano Monkey, if you're not a tank, is terrifying. If you're a tank, you can deal with Nano Monkey. If you're a DPS or healer, scary. But yeah. Terrifying.
Surfy now pushing on the outside edge. May right up in. No, Simple overstood, and Monorail goes down as big chart hammer down, coming in. Petticoat caught in that. But that's not who they go for. Jonik and Gold. Surfy there to block. Surfy gets the block. Yikes. Now caught in a grab on the outside. Petticoat's with him. Winston coming back in. Monorail will get caught in that as well. There comes the counter, Nano. But Monorail is going to go full anti-monkey charge into a wall. Angry Monkey still up, still fighting. Not enough really to keep contesting. No, another big hammer down, but there's no one there to follow it up. Simple will be the target. He won't go down. He'll go into ice block. Monorail getting picked there. The fight continuing on the point. Surfy just absolutely tearing them apart here. Sharpshot's own, taking down one of the healers. He'll go down. A sound barrier is thrown out, perhaps excitedly, but it doesn't really matter. It's over, Massive, at a rapid capture.
Overall tonight, Surfy has been a decent main tank, but now he just stepped it up. That push there was absolutely gorgeous. Getting in those two Earth Shatters there in one fight, that is so impressive to be able to get that done.
It's true. He was really kind of all over the place in that fight for his team. He was exactly, and he was picking up the kills that he needed to pick up to make that really count. Definitely. Now, a tall order, 4 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock is a pretty handsome time bank there. If you're getting ready to set up on the defense.
That is, I believe, as the kids say these days, fat Corbec.
Fat indeed.
With a PH.
With a PH, of course. That kind of fat. No, I agreed 100%. A very good performance there on the attack. Now we are seeing Pharaoh coming out, I think, with the Bastion. So something that they are happy and familiar with.
It's a Sim Bastion strat. We are seeing triple DPS here with Sim Bastion and Ashe.
And there is the teleporting Bastion. We talked about it very briefly at the start of the map, and it looks like we might actually get an opportunity to see it in action. Oh, it is a composition that requires a lot of coordination, though.
Pups is switching off. They're not going to keep the Sim available for the teleports. They're swapping over to the Diva, to Diva Mercy.
Well, Pharaoh, the minute Pharaoh drops in this Massive, he's going to be priority. I mean, he's going to be in a lot of danger. Let's see how long they keep themselves up on that high ground.
Definitely. You just need to keep Surfy up there. As long as those two can stay up there, it's fine. Use Pups to contest the point. That's what he's there for. And Pantsu, where is Pantsu?
On the outside edge, throwing in dynamite into the choke. He doesn't get anyone with it. That's all right. Now here comes the push up the middle, straight under point, trying to get under the Bastion's sightlines. He's looking for a good place to set up. He can't quite find it. They're ducking down into the cover of the room here, but Pharaoh really with the commanding high ground position, not even fussed, just pumping fire down on the point. Sharp shot will go down, but they still manage to pick up a tick here right under Pharaoh's nose, and Pups will get demexed, so somebody's going to have to come down and contest in a minute.
That's why
Pharaoh
you need
doesn't want to drop.
This is absolutely why you need that Symmetra. If you can't keep going back side to side, they're going to just get underneath you, and this is going to be an easy cap.
Pharaoh doesn't want to drop. He still wants to hold on to the high ground, but here he comes finally getting down. Bob thrown in, kind of in a corner there, but not enough that he can't disrupt the fight a goodly amount. He'll get Pegasus out of mech and then finished off, but Pharaoh taken out. And here they come, TBA storming back onto the point. Surfy under a lot of pressure, got Fortify up. Ponsu there, can't heal him at all. Nano thrown in on Monorail, perhaps a little bit unnecessary again. And one of perhaps the hallmarks of this game I feel we've seen is the occasional Nano boost that maybe Massive wasn't quite needed.
There was absolutely no reason for that Nano boost. If you are able to take out at least two, usually about there is where I'm gonna say stop ulting. You don't need to keep wasting them unless you're gonna win.
And big bodies on the point, big grab as well. Monorail gets a pin out of it, Simple finishes one. Jonak and Gold gets another, and the kill feed lining up blue here. Lots of kills pouring in, and they're already at 2 ticks on the point. Exodus, the only one who can really contest, is absolutely bullied, and somebody's gonna have to miracle touch this. They won't get there. It's a much quicker take on the other side.
We thought the 440 was hefty, but look at this. We're at still 6 minutes. That.
Oops. Oh, okay. I'm afraid he might have been catapulted into the space there by the way his microphone sounded, but that's okay. We'll get Massive back on here. But speaking of Massive, looking at these 2 time banks for these teams, one side 6 minutes and 5 seconds, the other side 4 minutes 40 seconds. Neither of these organizations looking like defensive teams at the moment, but one of them has to be on the defense, and it will start off here with what it looks like is TBA on the other side. Blazing Pegasus looking to open this up early, and they're debating what they're going to run here. Pantsu already back on the Widowmaker. Pharaoh again picking up that Hanzo, that double sniper composition. So comfortable with them throughout the evening. Meanwhile, on the other side, Simple will be picking up the Junkrat. Sharp shot to own on the Widowmaker. Or to win, sorry. I don't know why I keep calling him to own, but it just seems that way. Oh, good. Massive's back with us for the
I am back. I don't know. I just got sorry. Some random guy just walked into my basement and punched me in the face. You know how it is. But I mean, what can you do?
If I had an Overwatch League skin credit, anyway.
For every time that happened, I would have all teams.
I would have all teams. Here they come, pushing quickly through the choke point here. No, a little bit of a slowdown. I think they maybe lack Pharaoh in the back end. They're going for the exact same rotation they tried last time. Petticoat's in the middle of it, trying to be disruptive. They'll get Big Green this time, so a little bit different from the last play. Again, though, Surfy, wrong spot there. Not where he wanted to be, turning into lower level. That'll bring his team out without the Reinhardt barrier, which does get destroyed at the end of that fight. Trying to put damage on, and they're split up all over the place right now. Blazing Pegasus really looking like they're struggling just a little bit here to try and find some rhythm. Surfy finally back with the rest of the team. They're waiting for the opportunity to drop it. Simple on the point. Petticoat not far away. They're rotating back around. Massive, what do they do? They can't quite figure out what they want to do.
I don't know what they're doing. They're just running around, and that's gonna really open them up. They got Pups pulled off, and that's gonna force them onto the point. That is gonna be huge.
Here they come, and the tire's gonna come with them. Simple rolling that right along the ground. Still manages to get 2 though. A nice slow rolling tire into the middle of the formation. There's nothing they can do, and Pups will get burned down there as well. So a lot of hesitation on the attack there, Massive.
I don't really think Yikes needed to use her Valkyrie there. I think her Valkyrie was entirely unnecessary. I think she could have really held on to that. Gold Jonak, though, is coming up soon with that, with his ultimate, with that Transcendence, and that can absolutely destroy any chance of a grab Dragons, which is, I know, what they're looking for here.
Yeah, Pharaoh at 75%. Hansu will get the win there early on. They're coming from a different angle this time. Sharp shot. Wreck back into it, but it's a good grab with an anti in the middle of kills. Petticoat is swept on the point, or just up on the high ground here. Will get knocked out of the mech. Petticoat still alive, and Baby Diva form can't come and contest, and it looks like they will finally get the cap despite that rather abortive first push.
That was a very strong secondary push. They're being able to push around through that building, especially against a Junkrat. That's not a push you generally want to go for. Going through building against something that can just fill that room with a bunch of tiny little grenades.
Confidence is key by the looks of it.
Definitely.
Well, they go around right this time. Pensu already in a position to try and get some sniper shots in. Won't quite find anything. Sharp shot over to the Genji again. Dragons the least point blank on the point. That'll split him up. They're going to push on this. Petticoat goes flying away. Nano boost coming in here. Petticoat in a lot of danger. Swinging away is Surfy. He gets the hammer down. Really only gets Petticoat with it though, and he'll be burned down. And the kill feed looking pretty blue to end it here, man.
This is looking like a really strong defense here. Gold Jonak picking off multiple there after his transcendence, bringing him all the way back to 30%. Not to mention Sharp Shot on that Genji, who we've already seen can do absolute work with. Already 50% to that Dragon Blade, maybe a Nano Blade. Who knows? They still have the Ana in.
Yeah, they're still a little far ways off on the Nano, but we could see it. And they will be pushing from the same side again. Coming in. Over the top, it's a route they like, but there's a tire coming in as well from behind. Simple looking for a target. Finds the Ana. Both Anas already down. The fight really boiling around here, but Monorail emerging on top, swinging away with the hammer. He gets in the midst of that chaos.
I
there's the gong.
Yeah.
Dead.
That looks like Blazing Pegasus might have pushed too far into their spawn doors, which let Monorail just kind of walk out and start swinging, and that's all you need to do. And that brings it to about almost 5 ults on the side of sorry, what is it, TBA? The swap sides threw me off.
It always does. I know the feeling. They've sacked the to a Winston here, though. They've dropped the Zarya, interestingly enough, and here comes the fight again. Surfy trying to get in, find a target. Petticoat kind of cut off, will be brought down. Monorail goes in for the charge, trying to open up the bomb. Won't find it. Monorail anti-nated in the midst of the enemy team. A sound barrier comes in, but the Transcendence out from the other side. Tire in again. Simple looking for a target. Where is it? He manages to get Surfy with it. Very good. Pantu dropping in. Another big anti-nade, though. Gets Gold Jonak. And once more, Monorail with a big charge. Now a bomb across the point. Finds one. It's Sharpshot who gets brought down. That will continue the fight. Big Green in the midst of it all with the other 2 supports there. Big Green getting a pick. Pharaoh getting in on the action. Winston diving in over the top. Pups just tickling away on Simple. Sharpshot unleashes the blade. He's got to get a pick here. He can't seem to find anyone. He's brought down almost immediately. Oh no, it looks like they will take this. Oh, they will. Monorail not able to charge back in time.
Beautiful sleep from Big Green, keeping Monorail off that point in the middle of his charge. He probably would have been able to actually make the point, but it wasn't for that sleep. We might have been going for even longer. So when we're looking into this next fight, I think at least on this defense for Blazing Pegasus, they really need to be able to take out the DPS. It's for me really it comes down to Sharpshot and Simple as to who's really doing the work for TBA right now. And if you can't take them out, you're not gonna be able to get a whole lot done for you.
Well, 6 minutes is a lot of time to work with.
Yeah.
So what they can manage to do here, regardless. 6.6 seconds left on the other side. So we will be seeing some more action, regardless of how this wraps up. Pups still on that Winston, so they're running kind of a weird dive-ish goats. The Winston goats. Usually, though, Zarya is still a prominent feature in the compositions, but no Zarya, no Grav on either side, actually.
They're running this double main tank twice now, and it kind of baffles me. I don't get it. I think having Winston and Ryan together, they kind of counteract each other for how their playstyles work. So this should be really interesting to see how it works. Simple coming in with a bit of scouting work as that Sombra.
Yeah, let's see if they make any swaps based on what Simple's able to gather. No, Simple teleports back out. They're still thinking about it in the spawn room. They will get a Doomfist in here.
Doomfist is a hero we have not seen a lot of, and I love seeing Doomfist. He's an absolutely fun character to watch play.
Well, the big punch we'll probably be seeing here. Petticoat leading the charge. That speed get him through the choke, but Gold Jonak still on heels. Here they come. They're going to go straight to point. No fancy moving around for them. Here comes the fight, but yikes, caught at the tail end of the formation, is brought down. Never want to be in the back of the marching order. Simple D&D rules right there. Exodus in a lot of trouble. Sharpshot, though, will be taken out. Surfy and Pharaoh also getting in on the action. So Simple trying to escape, won't quite make it. The only one left alive, Petticoat, brought down again.
You know, I'm not sure Simple actually saw them up in that high ground. I think he's been easily
bamboozled.
Bamboozled. I cannot speak tonight. I am this match, and I'm not
too much going on.
I'm not even playing my plan at this point.
Oh my lord. Far up in the sky now, a switch by Simple onto the Pharah. Still 4 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock, though, so plenty of time in the bank. Exodus going for a little bit of anti-Pharah action. Won't kind of find it. Pansu there with a little bit of help from Pups on the Winston, trying to cause a lot of pressure on the Pharmacy up in the sky. Pansu can't quite get there. Pansu transcended, or is orb. They will fall back to point. Big anti, though, on a lot of the members here of TBA. But it's not one of them who goes down first. It's a barrage. Simple gets no one with it, though. Smacked out of the sky. Pharaoh's still there. Managed to get Petticoat out as well. A big charge into the back line. Sharpshot in the kill feed, but really the only member of TBA seeming to be making a huge impact right now. Nano boosted Pantsu up, just chasing away on the Diva down, and Sharpshot getting taken out at the end as well.
That was a huge counter push by those tanks to make sure that, especially by Pantsu, to take out that Pharah. We know how dangerous Simple can be, and that was a really good just counter pick to her.
Pantsu was on that very strong. Was constantly harassing that Pharmacy duo.
And that does give him the bomb here. He does have Diva Bomb ready, which for this comp could easily spell doom.
Surfy alone on the high ground, the dive tanks up in the rafters waiting to drop down. They will. They're target Jonak gold. Fortunately, it doesn't work out. Pups immediately burn down. Exodus, meanwhile, falling elsewhere. Now the fight boiling over to point. Monorail in the lead. Still up in the air is Simple. Hammer down comes in. Transcendence comes out. It's almost unnecessary. Big anti-nade. Bomb in over the top. Gets no one. Pantsu remix smacked down almost immediately. And with 3 minutes on the clock, they will get the retake here.
Pantsu had a great opportunity for a bomb and just didn't use it. He waited too long to throw that out there, and that really hurt his team.
They did lose the Transcendence, though, TBA. They didn't need that, I don't think.
No, you are right. They did not need that, but they're gonna. But right now, Blazing Pegasus is gonna stick with the double main, running both a Reinhardt and a Winston. So that'll be pretty interesting to watch here.
And here they come around the outside and straight up the rail, and Surfy and Monorail taking tentative swipes at each other. Oh no! Simple burn down. Surfy gets taken out in turn. Here comes the sound barrier, though. They're trying to win this fight. Ultimates all over the place. Angry Monkey flying around here as well. Valkyrie over the top, just trying to keep TBA alive and fighting on the point. Monorail goes in for a charge. Doesn't quite find anything. Sharpshot, though, involved as always. Petticoat res back into a dragon, so right where Petticoat was res, he will survive. Monorail cut off from the healing, though, will be burned down. Petticoat, though, gets the pick in return. The fight's still boiling. And he finally will back out here, Massive. So a long-winded engagement again.
Definitely. Using that barrage to open it up was a strong move, but he just didn't have enough people in there. He's only able to take out one tank. That's why he's gonna now swap over to the Brethgyk. And they do, and on TBA's, to their credit, they have 4 ults coming into this fight now, which can easily sway it right in their favor. But Pantsu on the Ashe, almost all ready to bob.
Well-placed Dynamite there, causing a lot of havoc, but here they come around the outside. Another well-placed Dynamite. It's got them all low, and it's a major healing. They don't have the aura heals to keep them up. Petticoat goes down. Just asleep, though. Sharpshot, though, getting an early pick. Here comes TBA. Bob thrown in. Oh, hammer down comes back of it. Transcendence. Big Transcendence
keeping the team up. They're swinging on Bob. It looks like he might be priority target number 1. Exodus caught in the shatter. Grab thrown as well. All it gets is Baby Diva Pups. Dragons now unleashed. Kills going all over the place here. Neither side really establishing superiority. Meanwhile, the high ground, Pantsu's still alive. Big Green hiding around the back of the statue, trying to get some healing in. Won't find it, immediately clubbed down. Here comes a Wrecking Ball swinging back on. It's Exodus just contesting. Here comes back Pups on Diva, and meanwhile, a big charge there by Petticoat, or by Surfy will take Petticoat right to the outside, where a waiting Pharaoh just finishes them off. And they've won it again, so 42 seconds left on the clock.
These solo healer comps are always fascinating to me. They're running triple tank, 2 TBS, and then Ana for heals. And that, oh no, they swapped back to the Lucio. There's just a desperation hamster. It happens.
Yeah, interesting enough though. Lucio is usually a stall character. Ana that would swap, but hey, that's okay. Big Green is sitting on the Nano, so maybe we'll see that in action. 3 ultimates on the board though. And there's one of them.
Trying to completely get off monorail there, but not going to be able to.
To split the team a little bit, 6.9 seconds left in the tank. Somebody's going to have to touch here. I don't think anybody's really... Oh, huge shatter! Oh, but they'll keep the team up right there. Will it be enough for them to win this fight? Nano Boost already committed. Here comes Monorail leading the charge. Zarya incredibly charged up here as well. The fight just boiling around a swirling mass. Bob thrown into the midst of it. Bob getting knocked. Oh, it's another big shatter the other direction. Oh, they have to follow up on it, though. They will. Jonak and Gold there gets 2. One of them, Bob. Pharaoh now taken out of the action as well. Panzer's still up on the high ground, though, chucking in damage and dynamite. Good contest from Exodus, but it matters very little. Ultimately, he's brought down. Now, Big Green comes in with a good sleep on Monorail, but it's burned down, and here's the ticking. A charge across the point, though. Surfy back into it. Anti-nated almost immediately. Surfy will be burned down. Monorail with the nano boost. Pups swinging. Unleashes the bombs. Hammond rolls through. Doesn't manage to knock anyone aside. A grab coming in now. Exodus antied. Exodus charged out of action. Pups getting back on. Will contest for just a little while now. Pantsu coming back on the Doomfist, looking to knock somebody aside. Petticoat will go down in the midst of all that. Big Green answers with their life. The fight still continuing. 2 bodies left on point. No, 1 body left on point. No, 1 more contest. Why not? It was Tracer dashing on the last second, and finally it'll fall.
That was quite the fight there. There were so many different things that changed up, and in the end, I think that I have to give that fight to Gold Jonak. Being able to keep his entire team up with that trans against that massive shatter, which should have ended it. If he hadn't been able to touch fight with that transcendence, this would be done. This would now be a 2-1, and we'd be going into our possibly last map. But this is going to be a lot more different.
It was good. It was good zoom Yada to point. I don't think he originally intended to keep his entire team. Wanted to contest, but he happened to be in the right place at the right time, and sometimes that makes all the difference.
That's all you need is a good Zenyatta. Zenyatta to me, I call him an investment. He doesn't have the healing potential. But if your team invests in Zenyatta, he can pay it back to you through a game-saving ultimate just like that.
If you believe in Zenyatta, Zenyatta believes in you. Like, you know, he'll be there for you. You just gotta give him some confidence.
Look, Zenyatta's my favorite stock to watch in the New York Stock Exchange.
Yeah, exactly. Fair enough. Everybody's favorite New York player as well, if I know.
I mean, you're right there. Jonak is one of the best investors that I can think of in that Wall Street office.
And here they come right up the middle, a close defense here, and they're going right though, and so they sniff it out right away. The 2 comps engaging almost immediately. Surfy anti-nated, brought it down. Sharp shot on the kill there, playing that Brethgyk. Now a desperate retreat back to the point by Blazing Pegasus. Holding on here, Monorail getting a kill on Big Green. Anti-nade in, it's good. Are they going to be able to follow up on it? They will get at least 1 pick out of the fight. Pups gets taken down as well. Exodus comes in over the top, trying to contest for just a little bit longer, but he'll get burned down, or no, he'll run away. 20 seconds left, and they're going to take this by the looks of it. Why not?
Yikes, this entire match, I don't think we've been giving her enough credit when she's been playing Ana, has been getting a lot of huge anti-nades, and it is easily one of the most, if not the most powerful non-ultimate ability in the game.
It's true. The anti-nades have actually been big. I think from both Annas have been hitting them exactly when they charging onto point now. Oh, not a lot. Bank. Here comes TBA. Monorail leading the fight right up there at the shield. Surfy tentatively swiping. It's a good shatter around the shield. I don't think you're gonna be able to follow up with it. Rally there. Good grab though. He's got a lot in it. And bomb thrown in on top of it as well. Monorail anti-nated will go down. Was barely at any halt at all. Sharpshot nanoed in the midst of that. Petticoat gets charged and destroyed in the mech, and they'll clean it up, and it looks like they will be able to hold.
That was beautiful. That was absolutely what you want to be saying. So now at this point, there is the potential for a draw. If
There is.
Of course, that's how this map always goes. That's how 2CP goes, and that's why I think everyone hates 2CP because you can draw on 2CP.
It's okay. They're making us work for our volunteer money tonight here on the cast. That's good. Dragging this out for as long as physically possible on Temple of Anubis. And you're right, the potential for a draw on the board, massive. So it'll be interesting to see what they're gonna do here. A lot of pressure on Blazing Pegasus. They need to win this. They go up 2-1 in the series, and like you said, we'll be on what could potentially be our last map.
Absolutely. And at this point, you really need to see just a perfect, flawless attack. They need to be able to make sure they're fully grouped, pushing every time, and make sure they know who they're taking out. And right now, it's gonna be just on a goats fee on a goats. It's gonna be who can keep their team alive the longest, and who can get the better anti-nades. That's what that fight comes down to.
We're not asking for much, just the perfect attack.
Exactly. Like it's, I don't ask for much in life. Just be perfect, and you can make the slightest mistake. I will flame you in the chat later. Welcome to Bronze Overwatch.
Oh no!
All right, here we go, getting started. So Anna Goats again from one. Anna Goats on both sides. Why not make it a mirror match? All things considered, and here they come. Surfy leading the charge as always. Pharaoh not far behind. They're through under. The anti-nade did come in the midst of all that, though, so that was used preemptively. Simple in the midst of the formation. A good sleep there on Petticoat in the back line. Will get Petticoat demeched right away, but Sharpshot, though, and pushing up kind of uncontested here, just chucking in damage on the flail. Can't quite find a pick. Monorail gets Pharaoh out of it pretty early, so the demech answered by a big pick there on one of the healers. Surfy under a lot of pressure. Pups dives in. Oh, it's another big shatter. Surfy takes out his opposite number on the Reinhardt. The fight's still going, though. Exit is taking a bit of a nap on the high ground, but not for very long. Yikes getting in on the kill. Simple kills themselves. That's very unfortunate. The fight's still going, and they will, I think, ultimately emerge victorious. Petticoat out of mech. Trapped in a corner is Jonak and Gold on Lucio, and they will turn that around.
So now we're at one of two options. At this point, it will draw, or it will go in the favor of Blazing Pegasus. They have no other choice. You have 30 seconds to get to that second point. You better get that Lucio, and you better get speeding fast.
Well, one tick making all the difference here on Temple of Anubis situation we've seen played out many times before, and they'll initiate with the Diva Bomb. Diva Bomb over the top, they'll rush in on the backside of it. Diva Bomb comes out, nano boost on Pharaoh. Pharaoh swinging away, can't find anything. All the kills going in favor of the blue team here, though. Monorail just cleaning up on the Reinhardt, gets two with the fire strike, finishes off Survey with the hammer. Diva Bomb dropped on the point pretty much to zone it out. Pharaoh, the only person who can touch, is anti-nated. Pharaoh gets crushed almost underneath the mech, and sure enough,
it's a draw.
It's a draw.
Oh,
Anubis strikes again.
This map, more than any other map I believe in the game, has to. I wish there was a statistic on this to what maps have the most draws, because I think it has to be Anubis.
Ugh.
Yeah, this.
It's the first map ever made in Overwatch. Also the first draw of the night, so that's fine.
Luckily, this is the only possible draw of the night. Well, actually, no. You could technically draw on hybrid. If both sides full hold, you can draw.
Even my dog is kind of looking at this like, oh god, honestly, 2 CP. Looks like Boosted, by the way, won their game 3-1. Didn't quite catch the other score. That's it. Was it Bird? I don't know.
Burn and Infinite Meat. Burn and Infinite Meat both won their maps 4-0. both matches.
The big 4-0. So looking down the barrel of our next map, which will be Hollywood, so the hybrid, the assault escort map. It'll be interesting to see here coming into this based on what just happened. I mean, this has been one heck of a grind, all things considered. I don't know how long this match has been going on for, but at this point in time, looking across the board, not a lot of subs coming in. Your face, I think, being put in, but most of the lineup for staying the same, really, for Blazing Pegasus. I don't think they're making a lot of swaps either. And at what point in time, Massive, do we begin to think that maybe, just maybe, fatigue might become an issue?
I think by this point now, we may only be on map 3. But those were 2 really long maps. Generally, but we're over an hour and a half into this match at this point.
Ugh.
At this point, generally, we will be wrapping up map 3 and moving on to map 4. This is going to be really slow, and it's going to really be affecting people who are going to be constantly up in the front, like those main tanks.
We're on map 4 though. We're on map 4, right? Am I missing something? Or on map 4? No, maybe I'm mistaken.
No, no. This is map 3.
Rialto and then Anubis. Oh, there's so much going on.
I don't know what map we're on. Where am I?
What year is it? Anyway, oh god. All right. When does the Overwatch league season start? But looking at it going into Hollywood, so we're looking at an assault escort map. We've seen for a very lengthy amount of time what these teams like to put on, both on attack and defense. What do you think we'll see coming out here? Do we think we'll see that Goats mirror match that we saw at the end of Anubis?
I feel like Hollywood of all the hybrid maps is one of the best maps for Goats. I mean, you can do an Ana Goats maybe, but I feel like other comps are better. Hollywood on attack, especially Goats, is just very strong. On defense, you actually have really your options open up a lot more. You can really play well with a Pharah, a Widowmaker, or a Junkrat, which is why I'm saying this could really go in TBA's favor because they've been able to show really strong proficiency on all 3 of those heroes.
Indeed. Well, it could be the last map of the night here as we transition into Hollywood. Looking at the potential picks for defense, haven't quite been. It's not Torbjorn, but I'm pretty sure that was a joke. So, still haven't seen him yet. He could come out. You never know. You
never know.
He might make an appearance. Everybody's favorite Swedish not dwarf may make an appearance.
That is true here, and really, whoever wins this map, actually, if I'm not mistaken, whoever wins this map here, wins the match because we're at 1-1 right now. Would we go to map 5?
Oh God, this is one of those things. Overwatch League gets into the situation, and like, friends is like, so what happens now? And I'm like, actually, yeah. As I understand it, they'll just keep playing in an infinite loop until
Until someone out of the void, yeah. No. Until someone on one of the team passes away, we're gonna keep going, guys.
Looking at it here, so Pharaoh walking out the Bastion. So going back to that Bastion again, we've seen a lot of Bastion tonight, Mask.
We have we've seen more Bastion than I've been expecting, but Bastion has been becoming more and more into the meta lately. We've been seeing a lot more Bastion sim comps. And because he just does so much damage, and he's just so good at melting. Although I hope Pharaoh realizes his gun is sticking outside the front of the shield, so he can take damage.
Strange composition on the other side. Yeah. There's got to be some swaps in that. It looks like Yikes, Your Face, Monorail. They're sending Sharpshot out on a scouting mission on the Sombra, I think, to get an idea of what's going on.
This should be an interesting thing. We haven't seen Your Face play yet, and it looks like they're gonna play with the pharmacy.
Well, the pharmacy into the Bastion, interesting. We've seen it tonight, haven't we already? The Bastion was getting the better of it through most of the fights.
This is true. Although again, wait, what? Wait, hold up. Attack Bastion. Attack Bastion is happening right now. Unless
a lot of time being wasted.
Or are they throwing? No, they're running Bastion Sim.
Well, maybe they'll teleport the Bastion to a good place. Let's see what they got here. Almost a minute, I think, so far. Your Face going to be looking for a good position to put the teleporter in. They must know about the other Bastion. There goes the teleporter down. They teleport to the high ground here. They come out almost immediately. Turrets chucked in by the Symmetra, trying to get a little bit of damage in there. Jonak and Gold kind of stuck in the back line. Bastion set up, trying to win the shield war. Does not win the shield war at all. Monorail and Sharpshot both down. Pharaoh more than happy to chunk away from the top of the cafe. No, Yikes gets the res on Sharpshot, so Sharpshot back up. Petticoat gets D-Mech. Sharpshot under a little bit of pressure up there. Yikes will go down, so this attack looking pretty disastrous right now for TBA.
This is... Alright, we just heard from our producer. This will be the last map unless it's another draw. Which is possible. If we see a full hold here and then a full hold on the other side, it will be a draw. It will be a draw, and we will be going to map 5. But if it's not a draw, this is our last map tonight.
It's looking like there's a bit of searching for answers here, though, on the part of attackers. They don't quite seem to know what they want to do.
They seem really confused by it, and this bash and sim strategy on attack is just it's a really risky strat to be running. Like at this position where they are right now, they are safe from that bastion, but Pharaoh is gonna go tank mode.
Pharaoh in tank mode, though, not really able to get any kills. Oh, nope, even as I say that, Yikes and Sharpshot both brought down. Panto finishing off. Pharaoh finally goes down, but too little, too late. The kill feed almost primarily blue. Monorail, the only one left alive, just gets burned down, and there's the team kill gong. And I can't help but think, Massive, that we were talking about sort of player fatigue, and I just get the feeling maybe that TBA is looking a little confused, fuddled, and they don't quite seem to be able to execute.
That very well could be it. I mean, all of these players, except for one, have been in the entire match. So you've got to be at some point. You've just got to be ready to be like, okay, do I want to keep going for as long as I am? Because my body doesn't want me to at this point.
Well, a Diva bomb thrown in there. Jonak are pretty low again, winning that fight for cleaning up almost contemptuously here. Pantsu in the action as well, and Pharaoh just continues to fire. That machine gun's not stopping. And there's another team kill, and Massive, at what point in time do you just realize it's not working?
About 2 fights ago. they should have realized that, hey, this comp isn't going to be working. So they're swapping over to the Junkrat Hanzo, hopefully to try to break that shield, because you have to take... I don't think Pharaoh has really taken any damage up to this point. He's already has another ultimate up and ready, taking out the Junkrat immediately. Ugh.
Your face goes down right away. There won't be any res. Mercy under a lot of pressure. Backline Pups just firing away. Pharaoh still uncontested, still firing in damage. Sharpshot on the high ground, tries to pick him. Tank mode now. Manages to get some damage in over the top. Petticoat dropped in. Bob's thrown in almost as an afterthought into the midst of this. The only one who could really get back is Your Face, and Bob picks him right out of the air. Oh, a rough performance there by TBA.
That I don't know what happened to the TBA we've been watching this whole match, but this completely changed. And we really need to see them either come back and full hold here. If they do not full hold, their story for this match is done.
I mean, it's amazing that they thought, really. I mean, honestly, and I'm not against the idea of the Symmetra Bastion sort of attack strat. It's interesting, and it brings a bit of a dynamic to a game we usually don't see. But to think that you can win the shield battle against a fully ensconced Bastion on the high ground with the Diva backing him up is an amazing amount of confidence, for lack of a better word, I guess.
I totally have to agree there. I don't really know what was going through their brains when they decided to just get through there and try to take that high ground, try to take the opposite high ground against a Bastion, and just try to basically have a good old-fashioned, I'm going to call it an artillery fight, where you just have both sides just throw out as many shells as you can until one side drops.
It's true, and I mean, they took them a minute to even get onto the attack. They didn't really settle on what they wanted, and they couldn't really find a way to go forward. So a bit of a rough showing from TBA right there. One that, their coaches and stuff will want to look at, maybe figure out what went wrong and where and how they can fix it.
Yeah, we'll definitely see some interesting defense trying here. And it looks like it's gonna be basically goats v goats here. No, never mind. It's gonna be goats v 2-2-2.
Yeah. Tell you what, some of those TBA team members are gonna be doing some push-ups in practice. That much is for sure. Monorail falling back here. Surfy looking for a good opening. Pretty confident here on the attack. Surfy pushing forward. Pups right there with him. A little bit of danger for Pantsu, and he drops down back off the high ground is with the rest of the team. Surfy now trying to engage again. Can't quite find the opening they like the look of. Exodus way out in front of the team. Gets back in from there. Doesn't like it very much up in the front. Now a fire strike in over the top, and still neither Reinhardt hustling to engage. Pharaoh and Pantsu up on the high ground get pressured off by Petticoat, but Petticoat overextends and is demeched. And that will be the diva out of this, and they're going to push on the back of that. Surfy now trying to section off Monorail. Monorail sectioned off, brought down almost immediately. The kills starting to come in now, starting to flood in, and so much for the idea of a full hold. It will take an absolute miracle here for TBA to keep this together. It hasn't quite manifested yet. Your face in a lot of trouble. The only one left contending is a very brave Jonak in gold, dancing around, and Lucio just trying to stay alive. No, he's smacked down. Now it's Petticoat back on the point. Baby Diva trying to jump in, won't make it, and that's the end.
A very rare 2-1 victory for Blazing Pegasus.
Indeed. 2-1-1, I think. Or no, yeah, 2-1-1,
No.
right? Will be what the scoreline reads.
Technically yes, but draws are not counted in map differential. And that's what this is really going to come down to, considering that they are in second place still, but they only gained one map for this match today, when they've been gaining like upwards of 3 or 4 a map, upwards of 3 or 4 a match every other week. So this is going to be a bit of a step back for them, especially if they want to take that first place spot.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. It was a long, hogging fight all the way up until Hollywood. Pegasus emerging victorious here in this match between Blazing Pegasus and TBA, taking the 2-1 scoreline, as Massive said. Any final thoughts, Massive, before we wrap up the broadcast here?
I think both teams in the end did play very well. They both do have things to work on, but this was a really even match up until that very end. So they both have things to be proud of. Heading home, and one last thing, a quick thank you to our producer for tonight, Brethgyk, sitting in the background and yelling at us every time we're missing something.
Indeed. Well, it was a very close match all the way up until the bitter end, that last map. Hollywood being the decisive factor. I've been Corbec, joined by Massive here in week 3 of Owlet Season 2. The winners, Blazing Pegasus, 2-1 over TBA with that draw in there. Thank you so much for watching. Plenty more Owlet action coming to you this weekend from all of us here in the production booth. Thank you so much for stopping by.